I'll walk you through my plans in my lovely planner.
After that, we did partner reading. I really set the expectations because it was our first time doing it.
And look over our schedule because we're on an adjusted schedule. Yay, I love testing, don't you? When I went to Walmart last night on my way home from the gym, so I got some stuff for school.
And I wanted to get you out. I'm working on a plan right now to come through. I've waited for a lifetime for you to calm down. Oh, nothing feels the same without you now. I've waited for a lifetime for you to calm down. 'Cause nothing feels the same without you now. What's the point in dreaming if I lose my voice? The second I get caught by you, I wanted you to know that I'm afraid, but we can make it go away. I hope you hear the things I say when I'm choked up next to you.
All right, good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday. My name is Katie, and I am a 7th year teacher teaching 3rd grade reading, language arts, and social studies this year, and you're here for a week in my life. I'm so excited because this is the first week in my life, let me start over. I'm so excited because this is the first week in my life vlog of the school year. Also, my phone is set up backwards on the tripod, so I keep looking this way. So if I'm looking to the left, that's why, because I'm used to looking to that side, and for some reason my camera is on the right. I don't know why I set it up backwards this morning, but I'm not gonna take the time to flip it. I am here pretty early this morning. I woke up to cut my hair curled so I could have some loose wave in it. I'm scheduled to get it cut in like a week, and I can't wait to have it just like fresh and short again. I mean, it is short. My hair's always short if you watch my channel at all, but to get it fresh cut will be so nice. I'm up here. It's the day after Labor Day. I had a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Did not do anything school related except for worked on like slides here and there when I was sitting on the couch watching TV. Watched a lot of football. The Auburn Tigers won, which is why I'm wearing my AU friendship bracelet today, and my pants are like my orange and blue pants because I was so excited. And not only did we win, we played Alabama A&M, so not like an SEC opponent or anything, but we won 73-3. And like we had some incredible passes from our quarterback and our backup quarterback, and I was like, oh my gosh, because it's just been years since we've seen like the Auburn Tigers football team gel like that, even in games that are supposed to be a breeze, right? So it was incredible. So I watched a lot of football this weekend. My in-laws were in town. We did some renovations on the bathroom. Hopefully I'll show you that in this week's vlog because I posted on my Instagram and I was like, what do you guys want to see this week? And I'm gonna try to cover some of the things that you guys left in the question box, and one of them was like bathroom updates, or not bathroom updates, house updates if we had done any house projects. So I'll show you the update for the bathroom because that's the house project we worked on this weekend. But to start off on this wonderful Tuesday, let me give you an overview of the week and what you're gonna see this week, and then I'll walk you through my plans in my lovely planner, and then we'll get the day started because I gotta like actually look at stuff and pull up my slides and do all those things. So a peek at the week. It's a 4-day week. Today's Tuesday. Tuesday's going to be a normal day. We're doing like day 4 of our reading instruction, normal day. And then tomorrow is Wednesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday this week, we're doing state testing for the Florida Assessment of Student Thinking Progress Monitoring 1. If you watched my last vlog, I think I touched on this already. We were supposed to do it last week, but we had internet issues district-wide with the database that we use for testing, and so we postponed it to this week, which is great. So that means after school today, I've got to move all the desks back into rows. They were in rows last week, but I've got to move them back. Yay. That'll be a blast. But that'll be Wednesday and Thursday. We'll take the test. And then Friday, we have our first house meeting of the year. So I'm just working on like word study tests on Friday, or the like dictation quiz for word study will be on Friday, and then the rest of the time will be like catch up time because of that house meeting. So we'll jump back into like a curriculum day next week on Monday. So that's what it looks like. Let me show you what those plans look like in my planner. All right, I switched up my planner this year. This is like a happy planner that was from Walmart, and then I put some stickers on it and put my name on it to make it nice and cute. But if I take us to this week, this is kind of what the plans look like. I wanted to get something to paper plan because now that we're departmentalized, I plan with my team a lot more, so I didn't want to use the online plans that I used last year. So I've got no school. Here's what we're doing today. We're going to partner read and write our theme statements for our story this week. We're doing the week 3 studies weekly and social studies. We're repeating the same thing with block 2, and I need to remember to plug computers in so they're charged for testing. Here's our fast test. We're going to start our government unit, fast math. Then I'll do government with block 2, word study dictation, house meeting, finish social studies with block 2, word study dictation with them, and STEM and / catch up. So that's kind of like a peek at the week. I've really been loving the paper planner this year. It's interesting. It just changes every year what I like to get, but this one is working great for me. The monthly spread works great. So that's what my plans look like. All right, so that's kind of an overview of what my week is going to look like. I think what I'm gonna do this morning is I need to go change all the settings and pull up my slides on my board, make sure I know what my reading slides look like for the day, so that's not a surprise for me in the morning. And then I also need to pull out their word study paper. I don't know if I have it in my Tuesday drawer. I do not, but we're working on a new word study list this week, and we're practicing CVCE words, and so I'm gonna give them a word list with a story on it, and I think I'm gonna give them a folder to keep all of their word study lists in, and we'll just hole punch them. So I need to hole punch all those first off. But then I think I'm gonna like keep them in a folder so they have a word study folder. That way if I have kids who like struggled with one in dictation, I can say like, bring your folder to my table and we'll go through some of those words and practice some of those words. And then they always have it. And I could say like, hey, so-and-so struggled with these words. Can you go back and practice those? They're in their word study folder. And I got some folders donated from some lovely people on my YouTube. I'll show you. So I have 2 sets of these. I guess I might just let them pick out their color because I have a lot. And then I'll probably do that. And then I'll just write their name on it nice and big. And then we'll keep their word study in there. But I don't know if it's gonna fit in their Fox file that they have to organize things. We already have a vocabulary notebook in there, but we don't keep a whole lot of papers in the language arts pocket. At the end of the week this week on that Friday, after we do our word study dictation, we might do a Fox file clean out. I think that would be a good thing to do. But I think these folders will be great to hold their word study word lists. It's gonna be awesome. The word study lists that we use come from the UFly curriculum. So if you've never used it, you should Google UFly Toolbox, and they have all kinds of resources for different phonics progressions. And this week we're doing CVCE as a review from 2nd grade. So I'm gonna go pull up slides and then maybe work on hole punching things and opening some of these folders before the day starts, because I got to do that first thing in the morning. That's the weirdest change to my reading whole group block this year. Is word study used to be integrated in, and honestly I would do it at the end of my block because I would do it integrated in with my slides. So for unit 1 week 1 we'd be studying CVCE, but this year they want us to be consistent across the grade levels, and especially with 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. And so we're doing spelling or word study every Friday. And so we're just doing CVCE Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Therefore, I had to take it out of my weekly slides because it no longer fit into the units, if that makes sense. So I've got to start remembering to do word study first. We'll do like our warm-up questions, then we'll do word study first, and then we'll jump into the lesson. And that's going to be hard for me to remember, but this is the first week that we started. So here we go.
I've waited for a long time for you to come down, 'cause nothing feels the same without you now.
All right, y'all, we made it to the end of the day, and I have a lot to do, but I thought I'd check in and just let you know that the day went great. We did our word study. I'll show you the folder. So I actually checked in with one of my coworkers, and she was like, what I'm having them do today is here's the folder. It was interesting to see
who knew how to use folders with brads and who did not. I probably had 3 students out of my 35 who like knew how to do it all the way, every step, but they did a really good job trying. So I was like, next time it'll be smoother. I'll give them the step-by-step, but I just wanted to see what they could do. So here was the paper. Remember I said these come from UFly. So it's the word list with all the CVCE words. We probably need to write CVCE at the top. And then on the back has the little short story from UFly. You can Google search UFly Toolbox to find these. We put it in the folder, and then today we have 10 words from this big list that we're using as kind of like our spelling words that will be on their dictation quiz. But in class, we're practicing like all of the words, not really doing traditional spelling practice in class. So today I had them find the 10 words that were on the list and highlight them on the page, which meant they had to read the others to find the ones that they were looking for. So like some of our words for this week are blade, chime, strive, grape. So they had to highlight it on here. And they did a great job with the table caddies today too. Like if there was a win from the lesson, it was definitely the table caddies. I was very impressed because the highlighters are in the table caddies. And so I passed them out, told them all the instructions, and then they got to use the caddies to use the highlighters, and they only used the highlighters. They didn't mess with the other stuff. And then we left those on their desk during the rest of our lesson. And I was like, if we leave these on our desk, let's leave them alone because we're going to need them again at the end, because at the end of the lesson we used the sticky notes. So I was like, let's leave them. Don't play with those things because that's distracting. And they really didn't, which I was impressed with because they like to play with pencils. They like to play with their pencils. So the fact that they didn't play with all those supplies was very impressive. So we did that. We did a little grammar review. They're rocking sentences and fragments. We've been doing it for like a week now. So, and we watched Mr. Morton from Schoolhouse Rock. They love that video about subjects and predicates. And if you've never heard it, you should search that on YouTube. Mr. Morton, Schoolhouse Rock, subject, predicate. Because the sentence is cute. It's like, Mr. Morton is the subject of the sentence, and what the predicate says, he does. Super cute. Then after that, we did partner reading, and I thought the partner reading went great. I really set the expectations because it was our first time doing it. So let me pull up my slide real quick. So I had like 3 things that they had to do. Number 1, I was like, you need to come up with a game plan. And coming up with a game plan means that you know who's reading what. So last week when we read the story together, I was like, our game plan was, if it was an even page, I would read. If it was odd, you would read. That's a game plan. That shows how both partners are going to read. So you can decide with your partner if you want to do you read a page, I read a page, or if you want to do you read a paragraph, I read a paragraph, or if you want to split it up evens and odds. All of those are different game plans, I said, but you got to decide with your partner first thing, because I'm going to start walking around and I'm going to come up and say, tell me your game plan, and you're going to have to tell me how you're splitting up the reading. The second rule was both partners need to be able to read, so it's not, the game plan can't be Miss Allen reads the whole thing and you read nothing. Like, or I'm going to read and my partner's just listening. Nope, you're both reading. And then number 3, when you're not reading, make sure you follow along. And I explained why that was important, because they could help each other with words they didn't know. And I watched groups do a fantastic job with partner reading. I know it won't always be that way, but it worked out today. And then when they were finished, I was like, you can either read the story again or you can take the AR quiz. And I think that was highly motivating. And I wish every story we did had an AR quiz, just so they'd be highly motivated by that, but it doesn't. Not for every story, but it worked out for this one. So I was excited about that because I want to add partner reading into our weekly routine there. And then afterwards, we wrote a theme statement. So last week we did a statement, I told you this in my last vlog, that shared what the story was mostly about. And for mostly about statements, I was doing this hand signal. And so today we wrote one that was the thumbs up theme. We got another sticky note, we put it on our story, and their theme was like, don't be wasteful and be careful with nature. So that was the thumbs up theme, and we already had the mostly about. So I think it went really well. And that's the last time we're going to do curriculum for quite a while, because we won't jump back into it until like next Monday, because we have testing, 1, 2, 3, haha. And then Friday we have a house meeting. And so we're just going to do like word study stuff for the rest of the week, and we'll drop theme. We won't come back to it again until next Monday because of this delayed testing. So that's a little womp, but it's okay. I also started a group with intervention today. I think I'll show you my intervention binder later because I'm really tired today. It's the same as last year. I have a vlog about it last year, but I'll try to share it tomorrow because I got to get it together. Got to get my copies together because it still had all my stuff from last year in it. So I think I'll get that together and show it to you tomorrow, hopefully. But for now, what I have to do is I've got to move all the desks back into rows, and I'm not excited about that. In fact, I'm less than thrilled to move the desks back into rows, but I've got to do it so it's ready to go for testing tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to sit and do. I'm not gonna sit and do. That's what I'm gonna walk around and do. But hopefully that was a good update for how the day went.
And I'm choked up next to you. I've waited for a lifetime for you to calm down. Oh, nothing feels the same without you now. I've waited for a lifetime for you to calm down. 'Cause nothing feels the same without you now. And all my friends always.
All right, so moving the desks looks a little bit different this year because their name tags are on their chairs. So I was able to like take the table groups apart and just put them in the closest row space. And then I move all of their chairs to the outside with their things in them. And then I just plug the chairs in to their new spot. So hopefully sometime when we're like just rearranging the table groups, it'll be easy to just swap the chairs from one place to the other. But this seems to be better than having to like drag a desk from one side of the room to the other side of the room. So now I'm gonna like go put all their chairs into the correct desks to get ready for testing.
'Cause nothing feels the same without you now. I've waited for a lifetime for you to calm down. 'Cause nothing feels the same without you now.
All right, I've decided that I'm gonna do copies when I get here in the morning. So I've got a lovely date with the copying machine. I think my room looks ready. I covered my cabinets. Ready or not, testing, here we come tomorrow, round 2. Or I should say take 2, because we didn't even get through round 1. Ay, ay, ay. Good morning and happy Wednesday. As I told myself, and I told y'all yesterday, I got here early today and I went and made my copies. So fluency copies are done. I'm doing a timeline activity today because yesterday we read Studies Weekly about timelines. So I just pulled a freebie off of Teachers Pay Teachers. And we're gonna make timelines of our day at school. So that'll be great. And they'll draw pictures and then label it. I think that'll be a fun activity after we finish reading about timelines. And then next week, we're gonna start our government unit. So I'm about to go pick up my testing bin. I just wanted to check in and say, good morning, I'm here. We're about to start state testing though. So I'm gonna be going into state testing mode. I need to put start time, end time, all that stuff up on the board, get a spot for the code, and go pick up my testing bin. So I'm about to go do all of those things and go to the bathroom for like the last time for a while. And look over our schedule because we're on adjusted schedule. Yay, I love testing, don't you? But anyways, I just wanted to check in, say hello, and I'll let you know how it goes at the end of the day. All right, we made it to Tuesday. It's not Tuesday, what day is it? Wednesday afternoon. It was another wild day of state testing. The computers and like the district network or whatever we use to test is still having issues. So we got everybody signed in today. Sorry, that's my dismissal app. Let me close that out. We got everybody not dismissed. In and tested today, but it was still difficult for some of it to load, which is really frustrating. So they decided that instead of doing the math test tomorrow, they're going to postpone it again for another 2 weeks to let the district get their stuff together so that we don't have tech issues.
which is fine. It's fine, kind of, not really. I'm just ready for a normal schedule, and that means that our schedule is not going to be normal. But the good news was everybody got through the reading test, which is great because I teach reading, so I've got my baseline data and I'm ready to rock and roll. I've been entering that into our data spreadsheet today, kind of looking to see how everybody did. But the biggest bummer, I was like, I have to move these desks again. I moved them into rows last week for our failed attempt at testing, back into table groups. Yesterday, I moved them into rows again. And then I was like, I got to move them back into table groups again. But I used the kids to help me. And I was like, okay, I have two things. It was like, one, an announcement. Testing has been moved. I showed them how we were moving it on the calendar. I tried to explain why, but they don't know anything about technology servers. So it just kind of went, whew. But that's fine. And they were excited about that. I said, number two is a challenge. I said, the challenge is we're going to try to get these desks back, but I'm going to give you specific directions on how I want you to do it. And if we can listen to those directions quietly and follow them and get all the desks back, you get a piece of candy on your way out the door. And they did it. Especially because I just had them move all their chairs to the outside. Then I was like, then go grab all your stuff and sit with that stuff in your lap. Then I flung the desks into table groups and I was like, oh, yellow table's done. Yellow table, come bring your chairs. So they did it. Oh, pink table's done. And they brought their chairs. It was awesome. And it took 5 minutes and the desks are done. It took me like 25 to 30 minutes to move them all yesterday. So that was the biggest thing that I was like bummed about. So now I'm gonna grade. We did social studies afterwards and I was so tired because we had like a team meeting and I'd been testing literally all morning. Hadn't sat down all morning because I had been walking around monitoring. So what we did for social studies was actually really nice. I'm glad I copied it. We did the studies weekly. We finished reading it on timelines and then I had them make a timeline. This was free on Teachers Pay Teachers. It's just a timeline template and we did a timeline of my day at school. I did number 1 and number 10 with them and then I had them fill in all of the headers first. That way they could erase if they'd forgotten something or did it out of order, and then they filled in illustrations. It's gonna be a nice, easy social studies grade for them. So on my list for this afternoon is to grade those. And then also on my list for this afternoon is to enter the rest of the testing data. And then I need to go pull my copies for tomorrow because now I'm actually teaching a reading lesson tomorrow instead of just testing and doing this social studies activity with my block 2 like I had originally planned. That's the thing that's killing me. But at least like I plan far enough in advance with my slides and stuff that I'm not like scrambling to find my plans when we rearrange testing like this. It's like, oh, okay, well, we're just gonna go on to the next day, but I do have to make sure my copies are like in the drawer, so I'm ready for tomorrow. Yay, and then I'm going to the gym. And I'm gonna sweat out all my frustration at the gym. But my gym is currently under construction, so it's like kind of closed, but not really. So we're at an off-site location today, which means we won't have weights, and we usually use weights for our sculpt class, but we're not gonna have them. So instead we're gonna use sliders and booty bands essentially, and the tubes. So it's going to be awful because all of those things are very, very painful. And so I think it's gonna be a brutal class, but it'll be okay. I'll get a lot of my frustrations out, which will be fun, and then I'll be ready to go home and like literally collapse because, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. But 1 state test done out of 2 for this month, and then we're gonna do it all again in December. Hopefully by December, the internet and all of that will have its ish together, and we won't have all of these problems. I'm just glad they didn't reschedule it to next week because next week's the book fair, so that would have been tragic. The only other thing, sorry, I've been walking around like changing date and specials. Only other thing that I wanted to show you was I did hang 2 grammar posters. They're from the Rainbow Remix Grammar Pack. I will link those in the description if you're interested. But I didn't have grammar posters this year. I made a grammar cabinet. So far we've talked about nouns, we've talked about verbs. We've also talked about simple sentences, but I don't have that one printed, so I'm gonna look and see if there's a simple sentences one in that pack that I can print and hang. And that's it. I'm gonna get that stuff done and stop rambling because I have to be ready to leave by 5, which I should totally be able to leave by 5, but I gotta go back home because I packed all my gym clothes, but I forgot to pack a mat. And since we're at a different location while our gym is under construction, I don't know if they're gonna have mats, and I kind of need one. So I have to go home to get my mat, and then I can go to the gym. But yeah, that's there's never a dull moment. So far this year, the schedule has just been whack. And I feel like I'm like, is it always like this? I don't think it is. We don't always have this much issue with testing. We would have already been done. I don't know. It's exhausting though, exhausting. And we had a team meeting today during planning So that was also exhausting. It was fine. There was just a lot of information, and we were like, how are we going to adjust all of our plans that we've made for this change? But we made it work. So that's it. Oh my gosh, what the heck is happening to my hair back here? I need to brush it. These curls have lasted. I think tomorrow it'll be up in a clip so the curls can last one more day. And that's it. I'm just rambling now, so I'm gonna go. I decided to make overnight oats for dinner, and I'll show you how. So I use some old-fashioned rolled oats. I put about a half of a cup into a mason jar. Then I add ground flax seed, just 1 teaspoon of that into the mason jar, followed by a teaspoon of maple syrup. Then I put in 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then half a cup of milk to top it off. Stir all of that together, and then I will refrigerate it overnight so it's ready to go in the morning. Good morning. I had a mobile order for Katie. Good morning. Thank you. Good morning. It is Thursday morning. I'm up at school. I went to Dunkin' this morning, which is ironic because the last time I vlogged, I said I literally never go anymore because the rewards weren't good. And I think the app heard me and they sent me a $3 signature iced latte, which isn't the best deal. I like to go when they had like the, it was like $1 for a coffee or a free coffee if you get something to eat, because then I would get like a $1.50 donut and get a free coffee. So that was my ideal. But I also have rewards points on the app. I had almost 500, which gets me a free drink just from however long I've been collecting rewards since they changed the app. And they all expired if I don't make a purchase by September 8th. And I was like, I'm only 30 points away from a free drink, so I should not let those points expire because it was from purchases in the past, and see if I can get up to that free drink and then be done. But also because somebody on my Instagram, when I said, what should I share this week? The Rawls family account said you should treat yourself. So I got the Ice Signature Pumpkin Spice Latte because I was like, okay, it's fall. The weather's been a little bit cooler here in Florida, a little bit cooler. Like it's been 80s and not 90s. As in yesterday it was 80s and not 90s. And I think this weekend will be too. But I did ask for it without whipped cream, and they put whipped cream on it because I don't know, something about having the dome lid makes me feel like I'm drinking a slushie from a gas station. So I don't get things with the dome lid very often, and I don't really care for whipped cream all the time, but it depends on the whipped cream. I don't think it's gonna ruin the drink, so let's try it. It's very good. Yep, it's very good. And I'm usually weary of like cinnamony things. I've gotten their pumpkin spice stuff before, and it definitely has cinnamon in it, but it's not too much, so that's good. I was gonna show you when I went to Walmart last night on my way home from the gym to get contact solution. My Walmart is like renovating and there's a lot of stuff on clearance, so I got some stuff for school on clearance that I was excited about. First, this was $5, but it was a pencil case that's Pokemon shaped. I do a whole Pokemon transformation day at the end of the year, and I was like, I can put something in this, and it's just so cute. And I was like, David won't care, he likes Pokemon. So it'll be a good school purchase to put something in there for Pokemon Day. I just don't know what yet. Then I got these plastic dividers because they were like $1, and it's always good to just have divider tabs somewhere going on. So I just got an extra pack of divider tabs. I'll put them up in my closet, but for $1, usually divider tabs are more. Those aren't the ones with pockets, but it's okay. Then this was kind of impulse because I'm doing a writing lesson next week, and I'm going for a superhero theme. And they had party masks that were Batman masks. And there was a pack of 8 and it was for 82 cents. And so I got enough to have enough for all 35 of my students. I don't know how I'm gonna use them yet, but I'm introducing writing next week. We've done like our baseline and that's it. We're doing our first lesson on like the planning process. And I'm using some superhero themed stuff that I learned from Get Your Teach On this year. So I got a lot of Batman masks. But I was like 82 cents. So I think it was like, I got 5 of them what is that, like $4? But for enough masks for the whole class, I was like, hey, let's go. They are Batman. They're not any other kind of superhero, but that's okay. I put some superhero things on my wish list because I was thinking like it would be fun on when we get down further in the process and we're like publishing work to have capes and masks and stuff, and they get to like share their work with the class like a superhero. I think that would be really fun. And then just something to spice it up, you know. And then I got 2 packs of Papermate ballpoint pens. Do I have some of these? Yes. But was it $1 for 4 of them? Yes. 25 cents for a red pen. I was like, you can never have too many. So I bought 2 packs. So that was my little mini Walmart haul for you guys that I got for my classroom that I just thought I'd share. I need to save the receipt, but I don't need to save the bag. And I brought my overnight oats that I made yesterday. I showed you how I made yesterday with me this morning. So I'm gonna enjoy a little bit of coffee, but I'm mostly gonna work on eating my breakfast. I did that because that's what I wanted for breakfast, 1. And 2, when I have early mornings and I want to be here early to work on stuff, or I know I'm going to go run and get a nice coffee, so I'm going to like leave the house a little bit earlier, it helps to make the overnight oats. Or I've been going to the gym on Friday mornings before school, and so the overnight oats are helpful for that too, because I just bring it and I eat it in the office. So yeah, I can't believe I'm here for another day. But yeah, I give this a thumbs up. It's a good pumpkin spice latte. I don't know that I've ever had the iced pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks because I like the pumpkin cream cold brew. So I can't compare it, but the Dunkin' one is good. So, and when it was $3, that's a good deal for a latte because like anywhere I go, you can't get a latte for $3 unless it's on sale. And I think I should be at the right amount of rewards points now, which is good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you guys asked me to show this week. There were so many things. A lot of you were like, show me reading slides, talk about quick transitions, morning routines, workout routines, and I cannot talk about everything in one vlog, so I'm gonna try to space it out. I think you guys gave me like enough to talk about for the entire fall in my vlogs, which is really helpful. So, so far, I think what I've shown you is did I show you reading slides earlier this week? I think I showed you reading slides last week. And I've talked about like what testing looks like. Somebody asked about baseline testing. So while I'm getting my smart board pulled up, I can share about what we do for baseline testing. We use our curriculum assessment for Savvis MyView, which I kind of thumbs down. I don't like it very much, but we were required to use that this year. Took me a while to get the board ready to log in. So that was one of the baseline assessments that we use. We do a baseline fluency with just a passage and we check to see how many correct words per minute are they reading. We use STAR reading from Renaissance as a baseline test. And then we also use the FAST, which is the Florida Assessment of Student Thinking. It's the Florida State test that we take 3 times during the year, and one of them is the beginning of the year for the baseline. So we did get through that yesterday. So somebody asked about baseline. That's what we do for baseline. We do a lot of those again at midline. We do STAR every 9 weeks, and then we'll do middle of the year will be the FAST again, and then we'll do it again at the end of the year. So that's kind of like what our testing is. I think I've shared this in a previous vlog, but I think we do too much testing personally. Too much baseline. I don't mind the FAST, the state required test, because I actually think it gives good data that's benchmark based, but I just don't feel like we should do all of these other tests in addition to that at the beginning of the year. I think it's way too much, but that's me personally, and nobody asked me, and I don't make the big bucks, and that's why I don't make the big bucks right there. Then I also had somebody ask about quick transitions and how I transition from activity to activity. Honestly, I kind of jam pack my lessons anyways, so they don't have a whole lot of downtime in my lessons because we are moving from one thing to the next pretty quickly in a reading lesson. But if I need them to put something away, I like to give directions, all the directions first, and use like a magic word that usually has something to do with what we're learning. So the other day we were learning sentences and fragments, so my magic word could have been fragment. Or it could have been piece, because we talked about how fragment is a fancy word for piece, and it's only a piece of a sentence, not a whole sentence. So I'll say like, okay, in just a minute, don't move yet. You're gonna put this paper into the language arts pocket of your Fox file, and I need you to have 1 pencil on your desk. But that's not even how I do it. Let me go back. I'll say, okay, I'm going to say a magic word. When you hear the magic word, that's kind of how I do it. I'm like, okay, in just a minute, you're going to hear a magic word. The magic word is fragment. Everybody tell me, what was the magic word? And they tell me, say, okay, when you hear that magic word, your job is to take this and put it in the language arts pocket of your Fox file and have one pencil on your desk. How many pencils on our desk? One pencil on our desk. And then I'll say fragment, and I'll usually say it's silly or something, so it's really obvious that that was the code word. And then they transition. And then I kind of, when I get to the end, I'm like, join me here, and I put up on the board what I want their desk to look like, and I'll count down from 10, 9, 8, which gets some of those stragglers who will take forever no matter what. If you start counting down from 10, they're gonna be moving. And when we transition at the end of activities, I call them by table groups to line up. And so if your table group is ready, I'm like, I'm looking for a table group that's ready, and they're gonna be the first ones to line up. And that's usually quite motivating for them, believe it or not. Okay, and then let me show you the reading slides for today, and then I'll be done chatting your ear off this morning. All right, here are my reading slides. I'm gonna get my keyboard so I can take you through them. We have 3 things on our agenda. We're working on Why the Sky is Far Away, which is our weekly text. We're gonna take our selection quiz on our weekly text, and then we're gonna do a cold read practice. So first, we always listen to the text again one last time, just so they can hear it and be familiar with the story. It also helps if any student was absent one of the times that we read it. Gives everybody one more chance to read through it. Then we take our selection quiz. It's a front side with comprehension questions and a back with vocabulary. I have them turn it into the tray, and then they can read or work on unfinished work while they wait. Then we're going to do a cold read practice, which is not Red Riding Hood today. It's actually a different story. I just didn't change the slide because we ended up adding that one to the test, but it's Rip Van Winkle, so it's a folktale with comprehension questions that we'll practice together. And then that's it. That's probably all we're going to have time for. Anytime we have at the end has been AR lately, because I'm not doing the independent work packets yet at this point in the school year, because my blocks just don't have enough time, because we are starting the beginning of the block as well with our word study routine. So did I open that PowerPoint? I don't think so. So we'll listen to our silent e-video to practice it. Last time we used a highlighter to find the words in our folder. Today, I think we will do it roll and read style. So they'll draw little dice at the top, and I'll let them roll and read the words with a partner. And then we might even do that and flip it over onto the back and find magic e-words in the story. We might do both of them because it's a short week, especially because we had testing yesterday and it's a 4-day week. So we didn't get as much practice as I would have liked. Good thing is it's a review skill. So those are my slides. All right, so hopefully I covered a couple of things that you guys were curious about. And if I didn't get to your question that you left on Instagram, I'm going to continue this next week, and I will continue to answer questions in next week's vlog because there were so many things that you guys wanted to see. But I got reading slides, I got transitions and baseline testing, and you got to see like a little peek in my teacher life too. So yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'll pick back up in the afternoon. Friday. I didn't check in today because I was just going a million miles an hour, but I did do a little B-roll footage. We had a house meeting today, and it turned out really cute. We went over our house and our color and our sign, and we read a book, and then we did a collaborative castle. That's what I was getting crayons ready for, so they each colored like a portion of a castle picture, and I put it together, hung it in the cafeteria. It was great. We did word study quizzes in our classroom, like during my blocks today. The book fair is next week, so we did the book fair preview. We went and got library books. All kinds of things. All kinds of things happened today. And now I'm exhausted. But David and I, oh gosh, I'm yawning too. David and I are going to church because they're having a marriage event tonight. It's like a date night marriage event, so dinner's provided. So that's wonderful on a Friday afternoon because I did not know what we were going to do for dinner. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this week in my life. It was a little bit crazy, but what week isn't, I suppose. I think I say that every single time that I vlog, but I'm going to try to do another one next week. It'll be a little harder because I have afternoon duty, but we'll see what we can come up with so I can keep answering some of the questions you guys left for me on Instagram. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.